Okay, so this is a short video on how to do a blower motor removal on a 2011, but probably also similar models in that same first generation Volvo XC60 without completely disassembling the dash. There was a forum post on Swede Speed and basically outlining that you have to completely disassemble the dashboard in order to replace the blower motor on an XC60. This is not true. There's a really good YouTube video that I'm going to link in the description by Volvo Sweden. It's a YouTube channel about replacing the blower fan on a P3 Volvo, and it's very similar but not completely applicable to this vehicle. The key difference is, and you'll see, you have to watch his video first, but he is able to remove it after he pulls out the instrument cluster, which you need to do. He is able to remove a duct and expose the driver's side of the blower motor. That's not possible in an XC60. All you can do is shove a tool down, and I recommend using a long piece of flat aluminum, or you'd need like a 2-foot screwdriver, and undo a clip. You'll see here in a second. Otherwise, everything on the passenger side of his video is more or less the same. You have to remove the computer, remove the carpet, undo the seat, undo the amp, all that stuff. So here's a picture of the trajectory by which I was able to reach the clip to undo it. Period. The blower fan is only held in by this one clip, and then you need the special tool to rotate it back after you undo this clip.
One thing I strongly recommend doing if you don't have a good step-by-step manual is I take a sheet of computer paper and some scotch tape, and every time I do a step I write down what I'm doing, where the screw came from, and where it goes with very specific instructions. This way I don't have a mess of screws and I don't have any question as to what one went where. I also write things like when I disconnect clips, so that I can simply go in reverse order and not forget to do anything.
So I'm not going to belabor these steps because this other video actually does a really good job. Okay, so starting from the beginning, the first thing that you have to do is remove the passenger seat. That's 4 13mm bolts, and then you have to remove the amplifier, which I think is 3 10mm bolts. After you get both of those out of the way, you can remove the passenger carpet. In order to get the passenger carpet out, you have to undo the rubber weather stripping and also take out the trim paneling on the door sill there, and then you have to remove the glove box, which involves a whole bunch of T25 screws. Don't forget the electrical connectors on the back of the glove box. And then after you've undone that, you can view the CEM, so you have to undo the 5 plugs on it, then you have to remove the adjacent fuse box, undo the CEM bracket, slide that out of the way, and then you have to undo the recirculation housing with 3 T25 screws and remove the that out of the footwell. And then finally, you can insert that special tool into the blower and undo the clip from the instrument cluster. You'll see what I mean here in a second.
Okay, so this is the trajectory of the aluminum flat that I have in order to undo the latch on top of the blower motor. So you can see where that's getting shoved in towards that way. Here it is in the dash. So I thought the blower motor was going to be in there somewhere. So what I did is I actually climbed in on that side and shoved my fingers up over the blower motor, and it was wiggling them around, trying to localize where that latch was. And then I had my girlfriend on this side with a flashlight and a camera, and she was actually, instead of seeing my fingers wiggle there, she was seeing them through this spot. So this is the vent here, and that cannot really be removed without disassembling the whole dash. So I just shoved this aluminum towards where you saw my fingers, and that did it quite nicely. This is something that I bought for a different project. I don't know if it's the ideal size, but it's a 1/2 inch wide by a 1/8 inch thick. Maybe it's a little bit too thick for this job.
Okay, so here the audio kind of got bad because I was playing background music, but basically I walk over here to grab the blower motor and show you where on the blower motor I was inserting that piece of aluminum to undo the clip. So here's the blower motor. You can see this clip on the top of it there, and the way this sits in the car is this way, sideways. So if the desk is the front, and then that clip right there is in the 12 o'clock position on the blower motor, and then here I'm kind of demonstrating with that piece of aluminum how I wedged it underneath the clip. So I was actually in the footwell on the passenger side directing this with my finger while my girlfriend was probing from the instrument cluster with the aluminum.
Alright, so here's the passenger side footwell. I have replaced the recirc housing. There's one screw, and then here is the other, and then there's one more that I'm working on, and it's that little bastard there. I'll get it in a minute. Alright, let's not overdo it. Double check this one. Alright. And let's give her a little chooch and see if she's tight. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Okay, great. Now there's two electrical connectors. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. It's tight up in here, as I may have expressed. And then these wires, they are supposed to get clipped into this and this. So here. You can see that clip there. That wire just needs to go up and over. There. One. There's two. That's the way I remember. Alright, so now replacing the CEM. Here's the bracket that holds it in place. There's 3 holes, 1, 2, and 3. Each one of these holes has one of these little plastic spacers. So if that fell onto or remained with the stud or fell into your footwell, make sure you remove it and clip it in place. They have a clip up on the top side and on the bottom side. And then it's just a matter of positioning it and then sending it home with the 2 13mm or the 3 13mm nuts. With the CEM bracket back in place, you can see right here, this is where this little fuse box goes. So these 2 feet hook into that hole and the one behind this wire just like it. Let's see if I can move it out of the way. Maybe not. Here, it's on the other side, you can see it. And the top just snaps in on that top clip right there.